one expected the end of lithium to begin so quietly. During the Q2 2025 earnings call, while analysts around the world were watching Tesla's profits and margins, Elon Musk dropped a phrase that went almost unnoticed. Batteries will be the next big thing. But those who read between the lines understood the message. While everyone was staring at the profit chart, Tesla was already, quietly, laying the foundation for a new era. And it all took shape unexpectedly, in the middle of the desert, under the name Project Oasis. There, where before there was only sand and sun, 84 superchargers appeared in record time, powered by 11 megawatts of solar energy. But this speed wasn't the greatest achievement. What caught the attention of those who follow Tesla closely was what's hidden behind the panels and cables. A new hybrid battery that could change everything. Lightweight, cheap, and, rumor has it, even more efficient than conventional lithium-ion. That alone would be revolutionary, but what's coming is even bolder. This secret battery would be directly linked to the development of the Model 2, the entry-level car that Elon Musk promises to launch for around $25,000. The combination of a more affordable vehicle and a cheaper battery could break the last barrier preventing mass electrification: price. But for that to happen, lithium would have to lose its throne, and Tesla seems ready to pull the rug out from under it. The choice of aluminum as a key element is not just a matter of cost, but also of strategy. While lithium relies on fragile supply chains and unstable geopolitics, aluminum is everywhere, literally. From food packaging to car chassis, it's cheap, abundant, and recyclable. And if Tesla can extract the same or even greater performance from it than lithium, the impact will be enormous. This would explain the silence surrounding the project. It's not just an innovation, it's a strategic advantage that could defeat competitors even before the Model 2's official announcement. The most intriguing thing is that no one saw this shift coming so quickly. In recent years, the focus has been on solid-state batteries, hydrogen, and sodium. And suddenly, aluminum is entering the game with a vengeance. But not as a pure replacement, but rather as part of a hybrid formula, where each element fulfills a specific function. This kind of approach could be Tesla's breakthrough, combining the best of both worlds without relying exclusively on either. Meanwhile, industry experts are trying to decipher what exactly is being tested inside the Gigafactories. Project Oasis may have been just the first visible sign of something much larger. Some sources indicate that the first prototypes of the hybrid battery are already being integrated into superchargers for field testing, measuring durability, thermal efficiency, and response under high demand. All this without attracting too much attention, as Tesla often does when it's on the verge of a new leap. This strategy of operating in the shadows is typical of the company. Major changes begin with discrete pilot projects, scaled silently until they become impossible to ignore. This was the case with the first Model S, with autopilot, with the Berlin factory. Now, history seems to be repeating itself, but with a difference. This time, Tesla isn't just optimizing what already exists. It's rebuilding the energy foundation of its vehicles from scratch. And this has global implications. If the new battery does debut in the Model 2, the impact could be compared to the launch of the iPhone in 2007. The promise of a cheaper electric car, with greater range and less dependence on critical raw materials, would be irresistible to governments, consumers, and investors. And lithium? Well, it may still exist, but its era as an indispensable input may be slowly coming to an end. And it all started with an unassuming speech from Musk and a mysterious installation in the middle of nowhere. While the public was still digesting the possibility of a shift away from lithium, technical details began to emerge about what's really behind this hybrid battery. The most striking change appears in the internal structure. Tesla ditched the traditional copper wire that conducts electricity within the cells and replaced it with a very thin layer of aluminum, just 0.012 millimeters thick, thinner than a strand of hair. Although copper is slightly more conductive, aluminum is much lighter, which makes all the difference in a car where every gram counts for greater range. This ultra-thin aluminum isn't just there to save weight. Tesla went further and coated the battery's anode, the part where electrons enter, with a microscopic layer of aluminum nanoparticles. This creates true express lanes for ions to move more fluidly and with less resistance. Studies by universities like Stanford show that this technique can increase conduction speed by up to 60% compared to untreated materials. And more speed means less time spent plugging in and more energy released when the driver steps on the accelerator. On the opposite side, the cathode, the design also breaks with the norm. Instead of using a single sheet of conductive material, Tesla created a layered structure, alternating very thin sheets of aluminum and superconducting carbon paper. This arrangement allows electrons to move much more freely, reducing energy loss due to heat and increasing the cell's overall output. In a simple analogy, it's like replacing a water pipe with a wide, seamless aqueduct. The flow flows freely, without obstacles. Lithium's role, however, hasn't been eliminated. It's still there, but in a new kind of dance with aluminum. While lithium ions are small, fast, and agile, like scouts on a reconnaissance mission, aluminum ions are heavier and carry the bulk of the energy. Together, they move in coordinated patterns of charging and discharging, a process dubbed dual-ion transport. This synchronized movement is what gives the battery more speed and power without compromising stability. Another interesting detail is that Tesla incorporated a gel around the aluminum core. This gel, rich in lithium compounds, serves not only as an energy reservoir, but also as a thermal regulator and voltage stabilizer. It acts as an electrical shock absorber, absorbing power surges, reducing internal stress on the battery, and helping to keep the temperature under control, crucial under extreme conditions. The direct impact? Longer life, and a reduced risk of failure. The presence of this gel also improves the battery's response during sudden acceleration or intense braking, situations in which energy demand changes drastically in a matter of seconds. In these situations, the lithium ion kicks in almost like a conductor, orchestrating the flow of energy to where it's most needed. Meanwhile, the aluminum ensures there's enough power to sustain the effort, like a backup driver taking over the wheel at just the right time. This model of cooperation between metals isn't just ingenious, it's strategic. While the world fights for lithium mines and seeks new trade routes to maintain production, Tesla seems to be saying, what if we didn't have to rely so heavily on this anymore? By placing aluminum at the forefront, the company completely changes the game. After all, aluminum is one of the most readily available metals on the planet, and its production chain is much more stable, including in the United States. The most surprising thing is how this battery seems to act like a living organism. Instead of being just a passive storage block, it responds, senses, and even heals itself. During peak usage, such as intense acceleration or ultra-fast charging, it's common for microcracks to appear within the cells, especially at the interfaces between the materials. In traditional batteries, this represents the beginning of degradation. But in Tesla's new architecture, aluminum particles automatically migrate to these microscopic fractures and seal them, preventing them from turning into larger failures. While aluminum takes care of the structural part, lithium performs an even more delicate chemical function, maintaining the anode's protective layer, called the solid electrolyte interface, SEI. This layer is like an invisible film that prevents unwanted reactions within the cell. In the Model 2, this protective layer constantly regenerates, as if it were alive, This ensures that the battery's internal chemistry remains stable, even after hundreds of charge and discharge cycles. And the secret to this work? A liquid electrolyte that moves like blood between the internal components. This special fluid, unlike conventional gels used in other batteries, maintains high mobility even under thermal stress or prolonged use. If an internal connection is broken, it literally flows to the damaged site and reestablishes electrical contact, as if repairing a clogged vein. This makes the battery incredibly reliable, even under extreme use situations such as racing, severe temperatures, or long periods of inactivity. And speaking of inactivity, Tesla has implemented a unique feature: energy hibernation. If the vehicle is left unused for weeks or months, the battery automatically enters a deep sleep mode. In this state, it reduces its internal activity by up to 90% and retains 95% of its charge for over 6 months. The most impressive part? When the driver returns and presses the start button, it wakes up in 0.3 seconds with full power, as if nothing had happened. This hibernation mode is ideal not only for personal use, but also for fleets, shared cars, and backup systems. Imagine batteries that can be stored without losing energy and activated instantly when needed. It's a practical and innovative solution that extends the technology's reach beyond vehicles into stationary storage and even military or emergency uses. But the battery's response to the environment goes beyond just turning on and off. With the help of intelligent onboard algorithms, it constantly monitors the external temperature, humidity, and the car's usage patterns. If it's very cold, it internally rearranges the role of the metals. Aluminum, which is more resistant to freezing, takes center stage. If it's hot, lithium steps in, accelerating heat dispersion with its greater conductivity. This ensures that battery performance remains balanced in any situation, without the driver needing to make manual adjustments. According to Tesla's internal tests and independent simulations, the system can operate in up to 47 different modes, each tailored to a specific scenario. A conventional battery simply can't compete with this level of real-time adaptability. This intelligence behind the battery is not only the result of materials engineering, but also of a completely new internal architecture. Instead of a single structure, as in traditional batteries, the Model 2 houses a solid aluminum core surrounded by a lithic gel ring. This combination is more than a design trick. The core accounts for about 60% of the total energy delivery, while the surrounding gel provides the remaining 40%, creating a true electrochemical symbiosis. Each part has a distinct function, but both work together, like muscles and nerves in the same body. The aluminum core isn't just a piece of metal. It's made of a special doped alloy, developed to allow for extremely high ionic conductivity, close to that of early lithium-ion glass battery prototypes. This eliminates problems like the formation of dendrites, which are sharp structures that cause short circuits in standard batteries. Being solid, the core also prevents leaks, making the structure safer and more stable, especially at high voltages and long runs. The lithic gel ring doesn't just serve as a complement. It's responsible for vital functions like heat dissipation and voltage stability. Its thermal performance is impressive. Conductivity is twice that of traditional electrolytic polymers. This means heat is evenly distributed during a fast 250 kcal recharge, avoiding hot spots that could compromise the cell's structure. In laboratory tests, the internal temperature remained below 45 degrees Celsius, even under the most intense loads. But it doesn't stop there. This gel acts as a cushion that protects the aluminum core from mechanical shocks. If the car hits a pothole at high speed or makes aggressive turns, the gel absorbs the stress and prevents the core from deforming. This makes the battery ideal for a variety of uses, from those driving on potholes to those seeking sports performance. And this same gel also helps extend the lifespan of the cells by cushioning the repetitive stress caused by charge and discharge cycles. The interface between the aluminum and the gel is the battery's most delicate point. To ensure that the exchange of ions between the two materials occurs without unwanted reactions, Tesla created a buffer zone made of nanofilms that facilitate conduction but prevent chemical degradation. This ensures that the battery maintains its efficiency over time without the typical signs of premature aging that affect current models. And here comes another factor that sets this technology apart from anything else before. The battery is composed of 64 internal microcells arranged in a fractal-inspired pattern. Instead of functioning as a single unit, it acts as a small ecosystem of smaller cells, each with its own separators and collectors. This distributed structure allows the system to continue operating even if one of the cells fails, as if each were a mini backup for the whole. If a microcell is damaged, the management system isolates the compromised area with the help of internal transistors. This prevents the problem from spreading and allows the car to continue running without significant loss of performance. In tests performed with induced failures, the battery was able to contain the damage in less than 12 milliseconds and regain stability within a few seconds. And most interestingly, these defective cells can be replaced individually by robotic arms in just 12 minutes. But what truly transforms this battery into something almost alive is its intelligent management system. Hidden beneath layers of gel, aluminum, and sensors, there's a veritable digital brain controlling the entire system's operations. This brain is a neural network-based system, fed by real-time data from 248 nanometer sensors spread throughout each battery cell. These sensors monitor everything: ionic movement, temperature variations, internal pressure, microfractures, and even fluctuations in electrical resistance. All of this happens thousands of times per second. These ultra-precise measurements are analyzed by artificial intelligence algorithms that have learned from over 200 million hours of previous battery use. From this, the system can predict wear patterns before they even become a problem. When an area presents a risk of failure, such as a local increase in resistance or an abnormal concentration of ions, the system activates a correction protocol. Small electrical pulses, with an intensity of just 10 to 30 microvolts, are sent directly to the affected area. These pulses act as a kind of cellular massage. They stimulate the reorganization of ions, reactivating underperforming areas and restoring internal balance. It's like a miniature defibrillator, acting at the molecular level to prevent failures before they become critical. In accelerated aging tests, this method increased cell lifespan by 19% and reduced degradation under fast charges by 12%. The result is a battery that not only resists time, but also learns and adapts to it. And this adaptation doesn't stop at the technical side. The Model 2's battery also responds to human behavior. Using contextual sensors, such as GPS, and usage patterns, the system understands when the driver is in a hurry, on a long trip, or parked overnight. During daily commutes, during work hours, for example, the system activates so-called excited mode, in which the battery charges to its maximum available capacity, reaching up to 250 kWh without compromising thermal integrity. During overnight charging, when there's no rush, the system automatically switches to relaxed mode. Here, charging is limited to 30 or 50 kilowatts, enough to fill the battery without generating unnecessary chemical stress. This type of management extends battery life without the user having to do anything at all. It's a discreet yet powerful automation that makes the car seem to know the driver's intentions better than the driver himself. This intelligence also manifests itself in adverse situations. If the external temperature drops below 110 degrees or exceeds 45 degrees, the system enters self-protection mode. It reduces power flow, redistributes internal loads, and adjusts battery performance to preserve its integrity.